Phinehas is a notable figure found in the Hebrew Scriptures, specifically in the books of Exodus, Numbers, and Joshua. From the standpoint of Jehovah's Witnesses, who rely heavily on the Bible as their guide, Phinehas is regarded as a man of faith, zeal, and loyalty toward pure worship. His example is often highlighted as a demonstration of taking bold, principled action in defense of Jehovah's standards. Below is an expanded overview of Phinehas that aligns with many of the insights provided by Jehovah's Witnesses, including materials that might be found on jw.org or in Watchtower Society publications. Family background and priesthood. Phinehas was the son of Eleazar and the grandson of Aaron, Israel's first high priest. Aaron's line had been divinely appointed to serve as priests in ancient Israel, Exodus chapter 28 verse 1. As a grandson of Aaron, Phinehas inherited both a prominent priestly role and the responsibility that came with it, ensuring that Israel upheld the worship of Jehovah in purity. This background set the stage for his decisive actions later in life. Zeal demonstrated at Shittim, Numbers chapter 25 verses 1 to 15. One of the most prominent events involving Phinehas took place when the Israelites were camped at Shittim, on the east side of the Jordan River, before entering the Promised Land. Numbers chapter 25 relates that many Israelite men began engaging in immoral conduct with Moabite women and worshipping Baal of Peor, a Canaanite deity. This was a direct breach of Jehovah's commandments and threatened the spiritual health of the entire nation. In an incident that stood out for its brazenness, an Israelite man flaunted his immorality by bringing a Midianite woman into the Israelite camp right in front of Moses and the assembly, who were already mourning the ongoing acts of idolatry and immorality. Phinehas, moved by deep zeal for Jehovah's holiness, took immediate action. He seized a spear and put an end to both the Israelite man and the Midianite woman. While this may seem shocking, the account emphasizes that Phinehas's decisive deed halted a plague that had already claimed thousands of Israelite lives. His action demonstrated unflinching loyalty to God's standards and underscored the severity of idolatry and immorality among God's people. Resulting blessings and covenant of peace because Phinehas acted out of genuine, righteous indignation, rather than personal vengeance. Jehovah recognized his faith and devotion. Numbers chapter 25 verses 10 to 13 highlights that Jehovah awarded Phinehas a covenant of peace, ensuring that his lineage would continue serving in the priesthood. This promise signaled divine approval of his zeal. From the perspective of Jehovah's Witnesses, this account illustrates Jehovah's consistent pattern. He blesses faithful individuals who proactively protect the purity of worship among his people. Role in Israel's later history. Phinehas's responsibilities extended beyond this singular dramatic event. In Joshua chapter 22, we see him act as a mediator. After the Israelite tribes settled on both sides of the Jordan, a misunderstanding arose that threatened to spark civil war. The eastern tribes had built an altar that the western tribes perceived as an act of rebellion against Jehovah. Phinehas was sent to investigate. Rather than charging in with immediate aggression, he sought an explanation, demonstrating discernment and fairness. When he learned that the altar was intended only as a memorial, not a pagan shrine, the potential conflict was averted. Jehovah's Witnesses often cite this episode as evidence that Phinehas was not impulsive or bloodthirsty. He was measured, diplomatic, and devoted to the unity of true worship. Lessons on zeal and faith. Today, Jehovah's Witnesses view the account of Phinehas as a powerful lesson about the value of righteous zeal. While Christians today do not engage in physical battles, nor are they under the Mosaic Law Code, his example underscores the importance of upholding moral standards and protecting the congregation from corrupting influences. Watchtower publications often emphasize that zeal for true worship must be coupled with humility and respect for God's instructions. Though modern-day Christians are not called upon to act violently, the principle stands that loyalty to God sometimes requires strong, principled decisions to maintain moral and spiritual integrity. Phinehas in the larger biblical context. Psalm chapter 106 verses 28 to 31 references Phinehas's zealous act, once again showing Jehovah's approval for his willingness to stand up firmly against the blatant wrongdoing. When studying biblical history, Jehovah's Witnesses see Phinehas as part of a lineage of faithful servants, like Aaron, Moses, and Joshua, who defended the purity of true worship in a time of widespread apostasy. He is seen as an example of decisive action guided by love for God's holiness. Conclusion. From a Jehovah's Witness perspective, Phinehas stands out as a figure who displayed extraordinary zeal and courage in safeguarding Israel's relationship with Jehovah. His faith-based initiative at Shittim helped halt a devastating plague, preserved Israel's moral and spiritual fabric, and garnered Jehovah's direct blessing on him and his descendants. Moreover, his later role as a fair-minded mediator shows that Phinehas was not ruled by anger but by loyalty, prudence, and respect for God's laws. Jehovah's Witnesses today draw on his example to illustrate how each member of the Christian congregation can uphold pure worship, maintain unity, and act decisively to support Jehovah's righteous standards in all aspects of life. Please share and like and please subscribe.